What's happening, everyone? I'm Jordan, and this is Front Run Tech, and we're going to take a look at the markets here, see how the week ended off. It does kind of look like the markets are really just waiting for the next catalyst, whether that will be sending it on a move up or down. We will have to see. But let's go ahead and take a look, starting here with Bitcoin on the 8-hour chart. Bitcoin, of course, had that big breakout and impulse up into the next price discovery move, which we love to see. It did top out so far right around 123,000 or so, and it did have a nice little pullback. And since then, you can see it's kind of just consolidating and coiling up a little bit here, kind of in a little bit of a triangle. This is still a bullish consolidation pattern. It doesn't really look concerning for Bitcoin, even with the pullback. Really looks like it's just cooling off for potentially another leg up, which is what we would all love to see. But other than that, Bitcoin just doing its thing, looking great. Um, we'll go ahead and take a look at the weekly chart here on Bitcoin. And this current weekly candle, it looks fine. We might make a push to actually end this weekly candle green. The candle will be closing tomorrow, but really an indecisive candle after a big breakout. But we still are holding well above the bullish break of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So that is great to see. And the weekly chart still looks very bullish. So nothing's changed there. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at strategy. We haven't looked at strategy. I'm sure some of you guys are interested into strategy. Maybe you hold strategy. So let's go ahead and take a look at strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy. Strategy was looking absolutely amazing up until the end of the week. So here on the break, above this horizontal level of resistance and above this black trend line, which is that neckline of this cup and handle pattern, a very nice cup and handle pattern. Strategy breaking above those levels was just looking great, and there was really no resistance left, nothing but hot air. So was hoping that strategy could do a quick little back test, flip these levels to support quickly, and then really impulse up. But of course, we ended the week with that big dump here on strategy, losing both of those levels and giving back those breaks. So not the greatest thing to see here in the short term, but what we'd want to see is we want to see strategy hold right here at this local horizontal level, these previous highs right here. You can see that's where it's trying to catch itself with support right now. If it can hold here and resume up and get back above these levels again, then again, there's not much resistance up here except the all-time high. So we could be looking at a big move for strategy and another new all-time high soon, and really another parabolic move loading up. And that's kind of what I see with all of this huge consolidation. Really, after this huge parabolic move, this kind of year of consolidation is kind of what it takes um, to process that type of move. But we could be loading up for the next one. So it still looks very good if we zoom out a little bit and don't focus on just this very short term. It looks very bullish. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at gold and silver. Now, gold here on the 8-hour chart is just continuing to do what we've been talking about. It's just consolidating, really chopping sideways. And again, it also had a huge parabolic bull run for gold, and this is normal to see this continued consolidation. It also is a bullish thing to see this up near the highs. So it is here in the short term. Here recently, you can see it's kind of ascending up against this horizontal level of resistance. So it does look like it might be ready to break back above this horizontal level, and it could possibly be loading up for another move up. So it looks good for now. We'll see what happens. We'll watch this black trend line to see if we get any breakdown. If we do, then we'll be focusing on this level down here around 32.40. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at silver, because silver, unlike gold, has actually been on a move upwards, and even with the sharp little pullback here in the short term for silver, it still looks extremely good, extremely healthy. I don't think this move is done. I think it has more upside to go probably. All right, and this is a good ascending trend line right here, this purple trend line. That's what we'll be watching for our first indication that it could be rolling over and that momentum could be changing. And if we see a break of this purple trend line, then maybe silver will be ready for a full further pullback. But for now, silver continues to look very good. All right, let's take a look at the DXY. So the DXY still looks pretty good here to me as far as being bullish. It's still on the breakout of the downtrend, and it ran right into this horizontal level of resistance, but it got rejected there twice. But it looks like it might be ready to attack that level again coming up this week, and I would not be surprised to see it get above that level and possibly try and come up and challenge this $100 level, $100.50. All right, and this is kind of why the markets, the risk markets, have really been cooling off and correcting a little bit. That coincides with this kind of relief move in the dollar. All right, now let's go ahead and we'll take a look. I wanted to go over the 30-year bond yield chart because, oops, sorry about that, guys. The 30-year, interesting enough, has actually been working its way back up, and you can see it's actually getting close to the highs again and really attacking the highs again. And you know, we've had this period of time where after that huge move in the yields, they kind of have been systematically drawing back down. People kind of forgot about the whole problem of the rising yields, but they really kind of put in this local bottom here and have risen right back up, and they're now close to the highs again, especially the 30-year. And you can see it was able to get back above this horizontal level, and what it's done so far is it's now pulled back into that horizontal level, and it's currently trying to flip it to support. If it can hold it as support here, you could easily see the 30-year continue upwards and potentially even try and take out that high. And if these yields start getting higher again, this is going to be a big problem for the government, the debt, the markets, etc. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on, and we'll be paying attention to it. All right. Other than that, I guess we'll go ahead and end it off by looking at the stock market. This is the S&P on the daily. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and start off with the NASDAQ on the daily because I have something to show you guys. So the NASDAQ actually did break down from our very steep initial trend line right here. Had the breakdown, but you could see it immediately faded that breakdown. And even though it did break down and it's actually holding that trend line as resistance, that's still a fade because after the breakdown, it took out the high. So, that's a fade. So we'll go ahead and just delete that trend line for now, and we're just gonna have to watch and give this some room to really play out some type of pattern here for us. But the interesting thing is that I was looking at the chart here on the NASDAQ, and I took this trend line right from this wick high over here from November of 2021 and took it off this wick high right here from December of 2024, and you can see that that trend line actually perfectly comes into the wick high, the wick all-time high currently. All right, and that's exactly where the NASDAQ wicked into and caught a little bit of a rejection so far. So that is sorry guys, that is an interesting trend line, and it obviously is paying attention to it. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the NASDAQ's due for a bit of a correction. This move has been ridiculous, so it's definitely overextended, and we'll see what happens. Now we'll look at the S&P. It's going to be pretty similar. I did take that same trend line on the S&P, and you can see that trend line here on the S&P still has a little bit of room until it would hit it. And of course, the S&P also broke down from its ascending trend line, faded it to a new all-time high. So both the S&P and the NASDAQ, they are overextended. This move has been really aggressive, and they're kind of just in no man's land in price discovery, probably ready for some type of cool-off phase, but mania and bullishness can go much longer than people would think. So we're just gonna have to watch it and see what happens. All right. That's where we'll go ahead and leave off for today. This is why I say the markets really seem like they're just waiting for the next catalyst to see which type of move they want to put in next. As far as if that's up or down, we'll just have to watch and see. And yeah, just make sure that you guys are following the Front Run Tech socials, especially on X and Nostr, is where a lot of posting is done continuously, and you can find the links for the socials on the description of the video, this video. All right, so until next time, see you guys.